It's rugby's greatest rivalry, and which team would we pick for the Boks to take on the All Blacks this weekend? Welcome Jordan Burrs from Jordan Burrs Rugby. He's here to help me pick the 15. Who do you have at hooker?
Hooker.
Hooker.
I don't know if I can disclose that information. My wife might get a bit upset.
Between the entire 15 or the 23 of the Springboks, Malcolm's probably the shoo-in to be in that position. I think he's had a great beginning of the season. He's been in form. He's playing well. He looks fit. So, yeah, I think Malcolm Marx definitely at hooker probably be the number one choice.
Yeah, I think he is. He's by far, I think, the number one choice there. The bench will be a little bit interesting who we pick in that 16 jersey, but Malcolm Marx definitely to start.
Yeah. For Love of Rugby, South Africa is brought to you by Pick and Pay ASAP, where you can eat like a champion. Brought to you fresh, fast, and easy. Okay, let's get into the front row. Who do you have at loose head prop?
Look, I think if Ox is fit, Ox takes that jersey. Like you said, like you talk about Malcolm Marx, Ox is that guy in that number one jersey. I think he is fit. Rassie did say in a press conference on Monday that he's training today and he should be ready. If he's not there, then I think you've got an interesting take on who should be playing there. But I think Ox if he's fit.
Yeah, also, I've been saying Ox, he is the number one guy for us at the moment. His scrummaging has been excellent throughout the season. He's fit, he's strong. His ball carries is unbelievable. I think if he's not fit, my second choice would be Buan Venter because of what I think should happen on the bench. But if Ox is fit, 100% Ox number one with a big slash conditioning-wise, and maybe he needs another week to get back. But then Buan Venter would be my option. So, yeah, I think both of them, scrummaging-wise, they're both solid. I think set piece, mauling, movement around the field, conditioning, they're both solid players. Ox number one, and then Buan.
Is there a reason you wouldn't start Gerrit? Steenekamp.
I think he fills that role of in the bomb squad exceptionally well. I think when he comes on the field with 30 minutes, 35 minutes to play, he brings a lot of energy. I think he's got a very high work rate. Even a guy like Jan Hendrik Wessels also can fill hooker role and lucid role off the bench, and they just bring some energy into that second half. So I'll keep them there instead of starting them. Maybe you see something different in the second test match, but I think from a Rassie, what we've seen before from the Springboks, where these guys feature best, I'll probably see Gerrit on the bench.
Okay, so we've got Ox, Malcolm, and then Thomas the Tank.
Yeah,
surely.
Thomas the Tank as well.
He's in that number one position for me.
Yeah, and I think also like just how he's been playing in the Prem, how he's been carrying himself at the box. He's got the ball carrying ability. He's got the defensive work rate. Been scrumming like a champion. So yeah, 100% in my tight head.
In the locks, now number 4, on my channel I said this could be debated because Irvin's coming back from injury, he played 18 minutes against Argentina. Cobus Visser has been in flipping phenomenal form. Yeah. Is Irvin ready to come back and face the All Blacks at Ellis Park? What do you think?
I think mentally wise, I think 100%. I think he lives for games like these. He excels in big moments. I also think Cobus Visser has been exceptional. I think his Nation Championship has been insane. He's fit, he's conditioned. But I think probably for a first test match against the All Blacks, I would probably go Irvin. I would go experienced. That like he knows the game. He's got the experience. He understands the haka. He understands what the All Blacks bring. So for me, Irvin is the one that stands out. And I think maybe Cobus could feature in the second test match, but I think for opening game, Irvin would be my choice.
And we only really need Irvin for 50 minutes. We need him at 100% for 50 minutes, and we can bring someone on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Irvin at 4, we agreed.
Yeah, Irvin at 4. 5 is also a tough one because Lourdes also coming back from a long-term injury, but someone who's got a lot of experience from the last 2 years is a guy like Ron Orkia. I think he is the one that takes my pick at 5. Of course, there's Franco Moster who's got a lot of experience, also coming back from a bit of an injury. But technically, conditioning-wise, Ron Orkia is my start at 5.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Ron Orkia was one of the players of the season last year for the Boks. Yeah. One of those guys who really stood up, like we've seen with Cobus Visser, Paul de Villiers this year. He, for me, really... And when he's playing 5, our line-out success rate is higher when he's at 5, calling the line-outs, calling the shots. For Lewitt, he looked a little bit rusty coming back against Argentina. I think Irvin probably looked better than Lewitt did against Argentina. Lewitt, for me, probably needs a little bit more time. So I agree with you, Rowan Nokia in the number 5 jersey.
Yeah, and we must also think about how would Luit fill a role within the Springbok team. I think we've been seeing him as a water carrier. He brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of technical side.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs another week or so in just a training and a physical training camp so he can get conditioned. Maybe play him in Cape Town where it's a bit easier at sea level, and
Yeah.
then we have a full go, and then they can compete for that F&B test. But I think Ronald Kears also, with the experience he's gained over the last season, and as you said, he was probably one of our star players for last year. He is, for me, the number 1 choice at the moment.
Talk to me about the 6th position, because with Sia out, again, Rassie said he could be fit.
Yeah.
Do you play Sia? Because we saw him sort of come back against Argentina. Maybe he shouldn't have come back against Argentina because, I mean, it was a bit unfortunate what he did to his hammy in that test match. But do you think Sia starts even with a bit of a niggle, or do we send in Mr. Paul de Villiers, he's been incredible?
Yeah, I think Sia's, if Sia doesn't get picked, it's always a big loss.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, a guy like Peter Steff his captaincy has been incredible in this beginning of the season. So I'm a big believer if you don't pick someone at 80%. I think if within the squad depth, with how the Springboks are operating, the way that they rotate through players, I'm a big believer that you pick guys at 100%. And Sia carrying a little bit of a nickel, you don't want him to get exposed. I'd rather have him fit, ready, get through a full week of training, no issues, and then you pick your captain. I really like Paul de Villiers, especially with how we're seeing Sia's situation at the moment. I think Sia still adds a lot of value to the Springboks, even though he's on the sidelines. I think he's got the knowledge. He's there as a leader. He brings a lot of calmness to the group. But Paul de Villiers, even though it's only going to be his 4th official test match, I think he's frothing at the bit. I think he's going to make a big difference in this pack.
Do you think Paul starts ahead of Marco van Staden?
Yes, it's a similar conversation we had about Gerard Steenekamp. I think Marco van Staden's ability to cover hooker, the ability to throw, brings a lot of energy. Maybe between him and Cameron Hanekom can play a massive role like Kwagga does. They can bring energy for 30-35 minutes. Even though he's good enough to start for the Boks and play 70 minutes, I think his role within the Springbok setup is well utilized within that last 35 minutes of a test match, because that's where he's deadly at the breakdown. He's a big ball carrying threat. And I think in a big test match where energy needs to be carried for 80 minutes, his role within that last 25 minutes is going to be massive.
Kitsin, talk to me about Brannas. Is there not a little fairy tale story here of Brannas starting in the 6th jersey?
I would love just to see Brannas play at least one test match. I think with the current crop of loose forwards, it's highly unlikely to see him play. But you never know with Rassie. I mean, he had the game of his life against the All Blacks in Cape Town for that Stormers game. So it can be a surprise pick. He can be definitely in our surprise picks. But I think with also bringing Brannas back into the group, I think it means a lot for a guy like Paul de Villiers. I mean, I think because they work together so well at the Stormers and they bounce off each other all the time, that little bit of confidence and mentorship that Dion Fourie brings, I think is massive for a guy like Paul de Villiers.
So Brannas could potentially come off of the bench, almost in that Marco van Staden role as well. That 6 hooker role. I mean, he played hooker in the 2023 Rugby World Cup final.
So that is a possibility, and it'll be interesting to see it. I don't think we'll see it in the first test match. I think we'll probably see it coming down. It's a long series. 4 games. It's a lot of games. I think we're going to see a lot of injuries. So we'll see Brannas play a big role somewhere.
So good.
We'd love to see it.
So good. 7.
Do
we need to even talk about 7?
Yeah, I think
Peter Steff du Toit. PTSD.
He's the 100% the number 1 choice.
Yeah.
I think a guy like Cameron Hanekom is pushing hard for that position. But Peter Steff is I think he's the guy. He's the leader in the team at the moment. He captained so well. So I think we'll see him 100% that 7 jersey. And also, if something happens, if you think about the bigger picture, we lose a lock early in the game. He fills that role very well. I think how he stepped up in the 4 position against England earlier this season. He knows how to, if Eben has to go down with either a niggle, Peter Steph fills that 4 role exceptionally well without bringing someone off the bench immediately. So I think that's massive.
On Cameron Hanekom, I mean, he could play 7 or 8, but I think that versatility opens up that spot for him on the bench,
Yes.
potentially.
Yes.
Because he can, I mean, Jasper Wiss is also just a fridge on wheels. Like, he's been in incredible form. So for me, Peter Steph and Jasper, 7 and 8.
Yes.
We can talk about Ulrich Loh a little bit. I do think we miss Kwacha a little bit in these sort of situations, but you can't look past PTSD and Jasper the fridge Visser.
No, we've got an unbelievable team. I think from Ox, Malcolm, Thomas, then we've got Eben and Ronald Kier. It's a massive top 5 there.
Yeah.
With Paul de Villiers as a fetcher, Peter Steph captain in the 7 jersey, and then Jasper Wiese the fridge on wheels. Just what a team.
That's a joke. Do you think, sorry, I'm going to take a bit of a tangent here, but do you think the All Blacks can front up against that pack?
Had a nice conversation with old Coley just before that, and I think probably one of the big areas the Springboks will focus is the set piece, and it's the scrum especially.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot more dynamics, attacking style of rugby from the Springboks recently, but they also have that aerial game. So they go up in the air, they create a contest. We'll see a lot of knock-ons and fumbles from that specific contest, and that creates the scrum battle. So I think with this pack of forwards, there's going to be a big threat for New Zealand. And New Zealand's they've got other strengths. They're very dynamic. They've got big ball carriers. They can play at the advantage line, good footwork, have an offloading game. So they link very well between their forwards and their backs, and they create a lot of space around those moments.
Yeah.
But getting into a head-on battle with the box pack of forwards it's going to be tough.
I wouldn't do it personally.
I mean, if I had to play for 10 minutes, I'll be a bag of bones at the end of it. I don't know about you guys, but my wife can go into Edgar's for one thing and come back ready for the whole week. I've barely moved from my spot at the escalator, and she's already found a work outfit, weekend dress, and something special for date night. No wonder women loves Edgar's. It has on-trend wearable women's wear for every style, budget and occasion, from work to weekends. Plus the purse and shoes she says has to have, because they complete the look. But I don't mind, because happy wife, happy life. I'm also very happy with my last shopping trip. You see? So ladies, shop every look and a little extra at Edgar's, online and in store.
Talk to me about this 9 and 10.
Before we get into that,
Okay,
I've got
sorry.
different questions for you. You've had a bit of a episode with the All Blacks rugby throughout the last week or so, and there was a promise made both ways, and it was a tough result for you. But talk to us through this tattoo situation that's going to happen.
Look, it was this, I didn't plan this. This wasn't intentional. This kind of like just happened. I didn't think the bloody All Blacks would be top comment on my Instagram reel. So to bring you behind the curtain a little bit, I knew that we were launching our schoolboy rugby fund on Monday.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try and get as many eyes on it as possible. Did I think we'd get this many eyes? No, but I'm happy that we did. So I thought, I'm a Bull supporter. I'm a big Bull supporter. Did I think that could upset the All Blacks? I thought there was a 10% chance, and I knew it would drive a little bit of conversation. So I put the bet out there saying, I'll do whatever the top comment says if the Bulls end up losing to the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Then the All Blacks kind of reversed me.
Just like that.
Yeah.
They just said, hey.
Yeah. So they commented, cool, if the Bulls lose, get a 5 centimeter tattoo of the All Blacks logo.
What is 5 centimeters? Just
Like,
for the viewers.
yeah, it's like this. I think it's going to go right there.
Okay.
Before the first test match. So it's booked. Friday morning, I will be getting this tattoo. And I just didn't think it would go like this.
No. But it's tough, and it's a tough conversation to have with your family as well, I can imagine.
But Dad's not too happy with me. But it's also a cool story. Like, why do you have this All Blacks tattoo? No, I lost a bet to the All Blacks.
Yeah.
So, like, it's cool. And I will do it. I'm a man of my word. I will do it. And hopefully we can raise some money for the Schoolboy Rugby Fund.
I mean, you already have the mullet to go with the tattoo.
Yeah. I had to get the mullet just before I get the tattoo so I can look like a real New Zealander.
Yeah. Okay. And you can move to Cape Town afterwards. So we got as you were mentioning, we got the 9-10 combo. Who do you have at 9? For me, it's a it's tough, and it's difficult to wrap my head around who I want in that 9 position. But it's going to be a fun conversation to have.
I think we should work it backwards, because I think Rassie Rasmus likes to have a 9 and 10 combo. And if we can figure out who our 10 is, then that kind of answers the question of who the 9 is.
Yeah.
For the 10, I personally want to start Marnie Leboeck. I think Marnie started against the All Blacks in Wellington last year. Damien Willemse was at inside centre, but Marnie kind of ran the show there. Marnie started at 10 when we beat the All Blacks before the 2023 Rugby World Cup, where we absolutely walked them. So Marnie understands something about how to control the game against the All Blacks and unlock the Springbok side on attack. So I think Marnie's the guy to start against the All Blacks for as many tests as we want him to start.
Yeah.
And Rassie likes to put Kobus Reinach with him.
Yeah.
I would love Grant to start. I think Grant is our number 1 scrum half, but Rassie likes to put Grant with Sasha or Pandre.
Yeah.
I don't think Sasha should be starting at Ellis Park. I think he's coming back from injury. He looked a little bit rusty against Argentina. Maybe just needs a little bit more time. Pollard, I mean, I'm pro Pollard to start as well, especially against the All Blacks. But I think Marnie just unlocks a little bit of something for us. So I would start Kobus and Marnie.
Yeah. It's a very interesting conversation because my head's leaning more towards Sasha, actually.
Okay.
But I love the Marnie option. I think Marnie is fitter at the moment. And in this game is going to be fast. And the All Blacks are going to try and run a lot of options. They're going to go look for quick throws. They're going to look for scrappy moments. They're going to look for turnover ball. So I think from a conditioning point of view, Marnie is probably the right option, in my opinion. But I like the physicality that Sasha brings, because we might not see too much space and too much opportunity. And what Sasha brings, Marnie likes the pace of the game. He's got a great passing game, great kicking game. He can kick off both feet. He knows how to find those cross kicks. But I think from a pinpoint kicking opportunity, Marnie brings a lot more than Sasha did throughout the last couple of games. But I love Sasha and the way that he carries the ball and he takes it to the advantage line. I think he's a much more physical player. He's got the passing game, he's got the pace, but if there is momentum to be gained, you want to give the ball to Sasha, and he'll just step a guy and he'll take it on and he'll probably find a line break somewhere. And that's where my head's leaning. It's like, would you see the All Blacks come with big line speed? They try and defend with everything, try and take a space away from the box so they don't get their big ball carriers over the advantage line. Because if that happens, you actually want your Marnies, because then it's pace and it's the ball moves quickly. Or when it's tight and tough, you want to give it to a fly-off that's willing to put his head down and get advantage there.
But is that the game plan we want to play? Because Sasha did a lot of that against Argentina. I think he was he carried the second most amount of times after Johan Grobler in that game.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if that's the game plan that the Springboks want to play. We've worked for 2 years now on this Tony ball, scoring the most amount of points we've ever scored, and now Sasha's running it straight into Argentinian flankers. So I just don't know what game plan they got. If they want to play that game plan and make Sasha carry, then fine. Yeah. But something tells me that that's not the game plan that they want to play.
It's going to be interesting. I don't have an answer, to be honest. But I think let's back Tony ball and we put Marnie there. You can always change it for the second test match and just play a physical game.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's play. And then put with Marnie, Kobus Reinach, and then I think bring some real pace on second half with Grant Williams.
Yeah. We'll chat about the replacement fly-off when the bench comes.
Yeah. Centers?
Damien Delende, Jesse Kriel.
Yeah.
I mean, Damien getting his 100th cap, hopefully, at Ellis Park. Peter Steff gets his 100th cap the next week.
Okay,
I think Damien Delende, Jesse Kriel, although there is an argument for like Damien Willemse, Kane and Moody, because that was a combination at Wellington when we absolutely annihilated them 43-10. I just think you have to back the most successful center combo in Springbok rugby history.
I agree. I think from experience and defensively and attack wise, Jesse Kriel and Damien Delende is the guys. They bring a different level of experience when it comes to test match rugby. So I think we in agreement there. The wings?
For me, Kurtley Arendse, Ches and Colby.
Yeah.
Again, you could argue Ethan Hooker, who again played in that Wellington test.
Yeah.
Eidwolf van der Merwe has been in some really good form. I just think similar to the center combo, Kirtley and Chesney just seem to be those guys.
Yeah.
I think also if you start Marnie, you would like to have Chesney there as an extra kicking option off of the tee.
Yes.
Because people will bring up Marnie's kicking. Marnie's kicking success rates off the tee in Japan was the highest out of all the Springbok fly-offs. So he can kick.
He can kick.
But it is nice to have Chesney
Yeah.
as a second option there.
Yeah, I like Chesney Colby as well. I think he's one of the best players in the world at the moment. He's physical. He said he's got a great kicking game, great aerial game. But I would like some size on the other side, like a bit of length and size on the other side.
Really?
So I will probably go Ethan Hooker as my number one choice. Curtly Orange and Chesney Colby, we know that like how dangerous they are together. They fast. They've got the chase. They got the conditioning. But I like Ethan Hooker as just a bit of like a bigger, more threatening ball carrier when it comes to like close quarter, around the fringes, playing that Tony ball, looking for opportunities through the breakdown.
Kanan?
Kanan for me as well is a player that can play multiple positions. He's got that inside center role. He's maybe a surprise pick for me, or maybe playing him off the bench with if Andre Esterhuizen is not fit. But for me, Ethan Hooker is just I don't know if it's just because he's my lookalike. I don't know if there might be some conversation for that, but I think he brings a physical edge.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Curtly Orange also like he likes to tuck and he takes Oaks on straight, but Ethan Hooker, there's something about him that I enjoy watching. Like he's physical in the air. He likes to take Oaks on defensively. He's solid because he's got that center experience as well. And it's going to be interesting to see.
So you're going to go Ethan over Kirtley?
I'm going to go Ethan over Kirtley. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stick on Kirtley.
It's fine. Then fullback, for me, there's only one choice at the moment, Damian Willemse.
Oh, so good. Yeah, it's ridiculously good.
And also can play multiple options.
Yeah.
He can slot in first receiver quite easily. He can slot into the inside center quite easily. He can cover wing if needs be. Also a very versatile player.
Yeah, no, I agree. Damian Willemse. I feel a little bit bad for Fussy because I feel like last year that 15 jersey was his. Then he got injured. It's kind of like what happened with JC Kriel, Lukhanyo, like after 2019, Lukhanyo got injured, JC Kriel came in and like Lukhanyo just couldn't get back into the team. But Damian Willemse is a generator. He's a special player.
Yeah. Okay, now it gets very interesting with the bomb squad because this is where we can go multiple options. Let's start with the front row. We've got, for me, it would be Gerard Steenekamp. I would actually go Jan-Hendrik Wessels at hooker.
Same.
A bit of weight, can also cover Lucid if you want to push Malcolm a bit deeper. Yep. And then I would actually go Volkelo at tight head.
Okay. I think I might go Zachary Porthen at tight head. He's been so good coming off the bench. I know your point. At altitude, bring on the beef, annihilate New Zealand scrum sort of last 20 minutes. But Zach has been scrumming like an absolute beast.
Yes.
I agree, Jan-Hendrik Wessels at hooker. I agree, Gerard Steenekamp. I might go Zachary Porthen just for that mobility, that extra mobility that Volkelo maybe doesn't have.
Yeah.
And I think Zachary Porthen stands up at the scrums anyway. So are we going to disagree on that? You're going to go Volker?
I'm going to go Volker. I would love to see the scrum just last the full 80 minutes. I think Zachary can do it.
Yeah.
He's shown throughout the Nations Championship that he can do it, and he showed throughout his career. But I think Volker just has a little bit more experience. And when I'm talking about experience, it's URC experience. Like he's got more first-class games where Zachary he's got international experience, but like he hasn't played much URC. And I think in these big games, it's sometimes experience is more valuable than a player's X factor. And I think that's something that we need to consider in this conversation as well. It's very tough. Like it's tough because you want to pick the guy that you think is going to do the best, but we need to think about the bigger picture, what we're trying to achieve here.
Okay, I'll concede. I'll go Volkelo with you just to make the editors' jobs easier.
So are we going to go 5-3 split or 6-2 split?
I think we go 5.5, 2.5.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, pick a lock.
Quibus.
It's between Quibus and Luit.
I think I'm going to go Quibus.
Okay. Quibus, we know Ron Rukier's got the engine. He can play 80 minutes. Flank on the bench.
Hanekom.
Above Marco van Staden.
I think so, just because, like you say, Peter Steph the Toy, might have to go and play flank. Might have to go play lock. Cameron Hanekom gives us that more utility in that 7-8 position. I know Marco van Staden can obviously cover the back three as well.
Yeah.
I also like what Cameron Hanekom, how he played against Argentina. Definitely our standout player in that game. I think Cameron just provides a little bit more X factor, which we might need in the last 20 minutes. Marco van Staden is super consistent. Like, he's always going to give a 7 out of 10 performance, but I think Cameron Hanekom can give a 9.
Yeah.
For me, Cameron Hanekom.
Yeah, I like it because also for me we're missing that Kwagga Smith. We're missing him big time, and I think Cameron can fill that role quite nicely. He can bring heaps of energy very quickly. So yeah, I'll concede as well. I'll go Cameron Hanekom. So we got for the front row, we got Kobus Wiese, we've got Cameron Hanekom. Then who's our utility?
Andre
Esterhuizen. If he's fit. If he's not fit,
I think he will be fit. If he's not fit, then do we go 5-3 or 6-2?
And also we not even looking at BJ Dixon. I mean, he's been exceptional coming off the bench for the Boks.
But who does he in place of Cameron Hanekom?
Yeah, you pick him as an extra forward on the bench. Like, you go
6-2.
You go lock flank.
Yeah.
And also he can cover flank.
Yeah.
Or do you go lock Cameron, Marco van Staden? Because now you've got an extra throwing option.
Or do you go Dion Fourie?
And that's where the surprise pick comes in big time.
I think Andre's going to be fit. I think it's going to be those 5 forwards that we mentioned. Andre Esterhuizen as the hybrid, and then 2 backline players on the bench.
Okay. Yeah. Backline on the bench, B?
Grant.
And
Andre for me, Pollard.
Andre. So we disagreed on Sasha and Mani.
Yeah. You're going to have Sasha on the bench.
No, I also have Andre on the bench.
So you're going to start Sasha and have Andre on the bench.
Yeah.
I'm going to start Mani and have Andre on the bench.
We both have Andre on the bench.
Well, if last 20 minutes, if we need that 3-point, like, it's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be a runaway.
See, the tough thing is for me is having Andre Esterhuizen there, which does the same role as Andre. He just covers flank as well if needs be. So you've got the hybrid, but if you go 6 forwards with Andre, it's basically a 7-1. It's basically a nuke squad. And then it's tough. Like, I don't know, like, would you have a solid kicker, like one that you know is going to just bang him through the post towards the end of the game? Very interesting. We could be completely wrong here as well.
No, 100%. I mean, every time we try and predict the Rassie Rasmus lineup, he's going to start Brannis and he's going to play Ben. He's going to start Ben Jason Dixon, and Peter Steph Toy is going to start at lock. Yeah, but this is the fun about it.
Yeah.
Look, if we can predict his team, then Dave Rennie can definitely predict his team. Yeah. So he's going to throw some spanners in the works, I think.
I agree. Okay, let's go. Andre,
Grant, Pollard. I like it.
That's a match day 23 if
I
I've ever
like
seen
that.
Yeah. Come on, Iboka. Before we wrap up, how do you see this game panning out? Where do you want to see the Boks?
I'm done making predictions. No, I'm joking.
If we try and put our Dave Rennie shoes on, our very, very smart Adidas tackies and full suit, tie, everything. I love the other guys are wearing their suits at the moment. Where do we see the threats of the Boks? Where are we going to threat the All Blacks? Some pressure on them.
So where the Springboks going to put pressure on the All Blacks? Well, set piece time, like you said. I think we've seen in the domestic games, and I know that hasn't been the All Blacks AA team, but the Stormers put them under pressure at maul time, at scrum time. The Sharks won a couple of penalties against the All Blacks at scrum time. The Bulls put them under pressure, maybe not as much as they should have at set piece time. So set piece would be a big worry if I was Dave Rennie, because now you've got the Springboks coming at you, not a Blue Bulls or Sharks or Stormers team that don't have their Springboks. So set piece time is going to be massive. And then I also think a lot of the game revolves around who plays 10 for the Springboks. Marnie is going to have threats everywhere. You've got the good passing game. You've got the kicks, the cross kicks. If Pollard starts, you're probably looking at more of a tactical game, so being good under the high ball, where Will Jordan and those type of guys come in. I think if Dave Rennie can handle the set piece, then the Springboks aren't going to get much go forward ball. and that's where All Blacks can put pressure on them. So if I was Dave Rennie, set piece.
Set piece.
What do you think?
No, I agree. I think if they can control the Springbok set piece, they're going to have a bit of an upper hand. I think they'll try and outpace us with quick throws. I think they'll try and look for quick taps. They'll probably, whoever the 9-10 combo would be, they will try and speed up the game, try and play on the front foot, always try and get the ball in Mackenzie's hand so he can play on the front foot, try and unlock our rush defense. So I think from a Springbok point of view, is if we can really execute well on the kicking game, and we saw it in the Stormers game, especially with Bowden Barrett at fullback, the Stormers got into that contest, and every time there was a contest, there was a scrum. On that scrum, the Stormers won. They put the All Blacks under pressure and they had an opportunity to go to the line out. So if the Springboks going to play that style of rugby, and with that add a little bit of a Tony ball, try and play in between them, it's going to make it difficult for them to find a starting point, a defensive starting point, and it's going to be tough to launch anything from their set piece. It's going to be tough to launch from scrums. They're going to be on the back foot when that's a defensive scrum. So I think that's probably where the Springboks are going to be most deadly. They're going to try and unlock those weaknesses, and I don't want to call it weaknesses because I don't think these teams have a lot of weaknesses, but it's just it's moments of exploiting that they're going to look for opportunity there, and if they can unlock it, then it's going to create a little bit of an attacking opportunity and a little bit of a pressure point for the All Blacks.
I think that kicking game is also going to come down to if Damian McKenzie's fit to play, because if he's not fit, Will Jordan probably goes to 15, and I think the Stormers, they kind of saw that they were weak at the back, which is why they kept kicking those up and unders inside the All Blacks 22, and then dominated them at set piece. So it could be a bit of a copy paste from Dobbo's plan to what Rassie's going to do.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Anytime. Next time I see you, I'll have a bloody All Blacks tattoo.